You'll just have Lisa if you.
You are good.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. The year is 2026. The time is 7 p.m. We'll now call to order a meeting of the South Miami City Commission. Before we start, please remember to turn off or silence your cell phones. We appreciate it. And if you have not registered already and you'd like to address this commission in public remarks, there is a sign-in sheet at the back of the chamber. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Mayor Fernandez,
Present.
Vice Mayor Corey,
Present.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Here.
Commissioner Moniz,
Here.
Commissioner Kaye.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please stand for a quick Irish blessing led by Commissioner Corey,
Thank
followed by the pledge led by, or Vice Mayor Corey, followed by the pledge led by Commissioner Moniz.
Thank you, Mayor. May the roof over your head be ever strong. May your life be ever long. May the road rise up to meet you. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hands.
Amen. Commissioner.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Madam Clerk, I believe we have a recognition this evening.
Yes,
Could you please read into the record?
yes, recognition Corporal Roderick Everett, retirement after over 30 years of service.
Chief, floor is yours. Good evening.
Still gotta follow rules.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, and members of our community. It is my honor to stand before you today to recognize a truly remarkable public servant, Police Corporal Rod Everett, who is retiring at the end of the month after nearly 31 years of dedicated service to the city of South Miami. Corporal Everett began his career with our department on June 1st, 1995. From that very first day, he embodied what we hope every officer will strive to be: committed, dependable, and deeply connected to the community he serves. Over the course of 3 decades, he has not only worn the badge, he has lived its meaning. In May of 2020, he was promoted to corporal, a well-earned recognition of his leadership, professionalism, and unwavering commitment to this department. But long before that promotion, Corporal Everett was already leading through his actions, his mentorship, and an example he set every day. One of the most defining aspects of his career has been his work with our Police Athletic League. Beginning in 1997, he dedicated approximately 15 years to the PAL program, focusing on some of the most underserved youth in our community. For many of those young people, he was more than a coach. He was a mentor, a role model, and often a steady, positive presence in their life. Through sports like football, basketball, cheer, track and field, and softball, Corporal Everett didn't just build teams, he built futures. Through his guidance, teams achieved national championships and traveled across the country and even internationally, including an unforgettable experience like competing in the Pop Warner National Championship Tournament in Cancun, Mexico.
Oh, wow.
For many of those kids, those opportunities were life-changing, opportunities they never had without him. But his impact didn't stop at the field or the court. Through youth camps, beach cleanups, and programs like Shop with a Cop, he has helped instill values that last a lifetime: responsibility, teamwork, respect, and pride in one's community. That is the essence of community policing. Not just responding to calls, but investing in the people. Even in the later years of his career, Corporal Everett never slowed down. In 2025, he returned to service once again as our PAL program officer, reaffirming his passion for youth engagement. He took on the role in supporting and instructing our bicycle patrol program, embracing the philosophy that policing is most effective when officers are visible, approachable, and truly connected to the community they serve. Throughout his career, he has received more than 120 commendations. While that number is impressive, it only tells a part of the story. The real measure of his career is found in the lives he's touched, the trust he's built, and the respect he's earned from his fellow officers and from the community. 3 decades of service is an extraordinary accomplishment, but what makes Corporal Everett's career truly special is not just the length of his service, it's the depth of his impact. He leaves behind a legacy of mentorship, compassion, and a steadfast belief in the power of community policing. As he prepares to begin his next chapter, we know he's looking forward to spending more time doing something he truly loves, offshore fishing. And if his policing career is any indication, I suspect he'll approach that with the same patience, skill, and dedication that defined his time with us. Corporal Everett, on behalf of the South Miami Police Department and the entire city of South Miami, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your leadership, your unwavering commitment to this community. You've made a difference that will be felt for generations. We wish you fair seas, tight lines, and a well-earned retirement. Congratulations.
Corporal, good evening. Floor is yours. Congratulations.
I really don't know what to say, but those are some strong words from Chief. But what I can say is that throughout the 30 years, Ms. Payne can tell you that we have been through a lot of mayors, city managers, and commissioners. And I can honestly say that the team that you put together is the best, because actually it starts over here with the city manager and then with the chief. Without that combination, the folks down here, we don't have no good leadership. And I done been through a lot of, like I said, the chief, city managers, and the commissioners, but this team that you put together is the best. And I wish that I could stay longer, but city manager's kicking me out. He said, I gotta go. And he won't go fishing. He won't go fishing with me. So I have to go, but I'm, hopefully I can stick around. If Chief allowed me to, I still want to ride the bike through the community and still engage with the kids. But it was a nice tour, especially taking those kids from Lee Co-op to Cancun, Mexico. 32 kids.
Yeah.
And that was a lot.
What ages?
They were, Nikki, they were,
Nikki,
they
city's memory.
They had to been 10 or 11. That
Yeah, that's
age
a
group right
life-changing
there.
experience, yeah.
That age group right there. And I couldn't have done it all by myself, because you met Miss Amber Jean, and she and my wife Tequila in the back. You can
Please
stand
come up.
and say hi.
Come on up, come on. It's your day too.
She's born and raised in South Miami too. So with all that, the paperwork for us to go to Cancun, Mexico, you can just imagine the paperwork that we had to go through with the 32 kids to get to go to Cancun, Mexico. Okay, so it was a mission, and I know you heard an earful.
How many of them had passports? I'm just curious.
All of them had to get
All
their
of
No,
them had to
no, that's what I'm saying. Also, all of them had to get passports, yeah.
Yeah. And Miss Jones was not fibbing when she said that we put our 2 foot in, and that's why she told the chief by her mouth that she did not want me to do the PAL anymore, because I do it.
Yeah.
Do it. I put everything. I put my both feet in to do the job, because I know the rewards are that. You know, a lot of kids is following my footsteps. A lot of my cops. A couple of them played professional baseball. We had Patrick Robinson. He went to
Columbus and Auburn, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he played professional ball. All them kids came from.
He's a star, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah. All them kids.
No, but
All them
Rich,
kids
didn't
started.
Patrick go to Columbus and Auburn?
No, he went to
No.
Gulliver.
Gulliver.
No, Gulliver. Oh, I'm claiming the wrong kid.
Gulliver,
I'm sorry.
FSU,
Claiming the wrong kid.
Philadelphia. He went to FSU.
Okay, well,
Everybody goes to
I'm thinking of the wrong player then. See, I don't know anything. I've been outed. Sorry. There we go.
According to the mayor, everybody goes to Columbus.
Of course. They should.
But a lot of those kids started, you know, homegrown from South Miami, and they was with me, so I felt very proud seeing those kids accomplish what they did, and so that's why I was reluctant to join PAL again, because, you know, it's a lot of work, but I enjoy doing it. But unfortunately, hopefully, my replacement will have the same fire that I have, and hopefully they won't have to direct traffic in the middle of the road, and one of your commissioners drive by and just wave at me and don't offer me no water. I'm not gonna
Wait,
call.
I gotta hear that story.
I'm not gonna call his name, but he did that. He did it, and he said hi. He spoke, but he did not offer me one drop of water.
How many years this go on for?
What's that?
How many years this go on for?
How many years?
Yeah.
You talking about Powell?
No, the
that
waving
one
without
incident?
water. Yeah.
Oh,
waving without water.
that just happened.
Oh, okay. Oh, excellent.
Just happened
Excellent.
last week, and I will not forgive him for that. But I do appreciate the opportunity. It was a long 31 years. I made it, and I just hope that the chief stick around a long time.
We hope so,
city
too.
manager, and because he's you know, he's a good man. Country boy, but he's a good man. Good man.
So this fishing hobby, you have a
Yes.
boat? What's the plan? What's next?
A what?
A boat?
No,
Yeah.
I
I
sold
thought,
my
is there
boat.
like a retirement boat that we're talking about here?
I
Is-
sold my
no?
boat 'cause I have no one to go fishing with me on the boat per se, because my boys is off doing their own thing. I go in charters, but
I'm happy to be a friend if you're the guy with the boat.
Can you get away for 4 days?
4 days?
4 days.
4 days.
Wow, that's
No,
a-
no.
I-
My wife is not that forgiving, so.
No, I'm going for 3-4 days at a time. So if you can't go for 4 days, then we can't talk.
That's some serious fishing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Mayor,
it is. But that's
if I
my-
may,
Please.
Corporal Everett invoked my name as a rebuttal.
Uh-oh.
No, I think we should start an investigation. I don't consider Cancun the mecca of tackle football, so I don't know about that business. About going to Cancun, something's really fishy there, but that's for another conversation. No, Corporal has influenced lives, beyond measure as it relates to youth, and that's how you measure, your impact, or how you influence others, and that's what you did. And we appreciate it. Being 31 years in one organization is not easy to achieve, and doing other things besides, putting yourself between harm's way and others that need your protection is admirable. But certainly your contribution to this community willingly is to be recognized. And so we appreciate your efforts, and we appreciate you lending him to us, and understand, how it is to be the spouse of an officer and hoping they come back every night. So we appreciate that contribution and that sacrifice. So Corporal, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for your dedicated service to our community, and you have my admiration and certainly respect. And so thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Colleagues? Again, thank you for your service. Thank you for accompanying him on this journey. Obviously, it's a sacrifice on your part as well. We're grateful to you for your love and support of him. And again, you'll be missed. Hopefully, you won't be a stranger. So look forward to seeing you around here.
Appreciate it.
Let's take a quick picture.
Mayor, we have, the chief has
Oh,
something
the
to present.
chief has a
moment.
gift.
Yeah, if we could.
Sir, what do we got here?
Yeah.
So his official retirement ceremony will be April 3rd,
Third,
but in lieu of that, we've got a little gift for you for your retirement to ensure you have tight lines. So, Commissioner Kaye?
I didn't give him water. Let's just put it out there.
There you go.
Nice rod.
We're told it's a good one. I'm not the expert fisherman, but
I'm gonna test it out.
yeah, I'm sure you will.
I'll test it out.
Well, we'll get up here and
Let's
let's
go here and take a picture.
Look at that smile.
Yeah, I want to go.
I think I got it working out. I got it working out. This is my first meeting.
Corporal, congrats again. Enjoy it. Okay, Madam Clerk, I believe we have 2 add-on items this evening.
Yes, we do.
If you could read them, please.
Yes. Add-on 1, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of South Miami, Florida, recognizing April as Autism Acceptance Month, directing the city manager to fly the Autism Acceptance Flag beginning on April 2nd, 2026, and throughout the month of April. Add-on 2, an ordinance of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of South Miami, Florida, creating Section 15-75 work prohibited on Sundays and holidays of Article 1 in general of Chapter 15 offenses and miscellaneous provisions of the City Code of Ordinances to prohibit certain activities on Sundays and legal holidays.
Thank you, colleagues. Any objection to adding on both those items?
No.
Okay, show those as added on. With that, any objection to withdrawal of item 7 on the agenda, which is the item that was originally the prohibition on work on Sundays? I believe that F2 is a substitution item for item 7.
Yes, that's correct. That's
City Attorney, you want to explain?
Yeah, sure. So
Thank you.
item 7, the first version, Commissioner Rodriguez, that we had talked about, that was not what it was supposed to be.
Okay.
When we spoke last week, we drafted another item. It's just a different section, so in an abundance of caution, we're adding it on as an add-on, and we're withdrawing the other one.
Okay.
But it's intended to replace it.
Do we want to preserve the item and just discuss them both at the same time and then withdraw it at that
the
point in
board's
time? Because it seems like you've had a chance to review
Yeah,
the substitution. Okay.
So nothing's changing from our last conversation?
Correct. There's a broader, so the one that is in your agenda as item 7
Yes?
deals with noise-producing equipment only.
Oh, and we said anything, okay,
This,
okay.
the one that is a replacement expands it to all work.
All permitted.
So it's the
Okay,
pleasure of the
okay.
commission whether you'd like to preserve item 7.
No, we can, yeah, it's good.
You're fine with the
Yeah,
withdrawal?
yeah.
Okay, so show item 7 as withdrawn without objection. Okay. With that, let's quickly go through the manager's report, please.
Good evening. I want to start by congratulating the SOMI Untouchables, who once again are bringing home the community trophy for the Cure CF kickball tournament that benefited cystic fibrosis research. So the team consisted of many different departments and included Vice Mayor Corey, Commissioner Calle, Mayor Fernandez, who came back in crutches for a good cause. So second meeting in April, you'll be presented with an award. It's a great event for a great cause, so thank you to everybody who participated.
Thank you, guys.
Registration is currently open for the next session of youth volleyball at the community center. That program runs April 13th to May 28th. Our registration is also open for our spring break camp. That's March 23rd to 27th, and registration is $50 for our residents. And we also have what was one of our biggest events last year, our Easter egg hunt, coming up at Dante Fasel Park, March 28th, and that is from 11 to 1:30. That's the manager's report.
Colleagues, questions of the manager?
A quick question. Can you expand on the volleyball? Like what we're doing youth volleyball at
With-
the gym?
In coordination with Phoenix Volleyball.
Oh, with Phoenix.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Further questions? Mr. Manager, just an observation. I was out at South Miami Park today, just doing the rounds to see how things are going. The interior fence, I just want to remind me to talk to you about the interior fence around the park area. It's chain link. I don't know if it was part of the scope to modify it for the, the parking enhancements and lighting enhancements, but if it's not, I think it's probably worth looking at, so.
You're speaking about
The
the ones
interior,
around the
the
picnic
interior chain link
shelters
fence,
and
it's around the
tot
shelters
lot
and tot lot. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate the report. Mr. City Attorney, you're recognized for your report.
Thank you, Mayor, but we have no report this evening.
Great, thank you very much. Well, then let's turn to public remarks. Again, we have 2 folks signed up this evening. If you have not signed up, please check in with Jason. You will add your name to the list. First on the list, Mr. Truby. Fred, good evening. Good evening. As always, just your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
Yes, Fred Truby, 7500 Southwest 63rd Avenue.
Good to see you.
evening, Commission and Mayor and everyone there. I have a couple of items that, just around the neighborhood that I think should be taken care of. I'm not gonna get up here and try to embarrass anybody. It's not my way, and I don't think it's what anybody wants, but I'm wondering, you don't have to, people in the audience don't have to raise their hands or anything, but if you've ever driven by on Sunset by my alma mater, Ludlam Elementary, class of 75, I was at Safety Patrol. I'm a proud graduate, and all 5 brothers, all 5 of my brothers and sisters, and all my nieces and nephews went to Ludlam Elementary. When you drive by on Sunset Drive, they have a nice big old electric sign there. Do you know what some of the things that are on there that are flashing by? One of the things is report cards are due, March 2024. It's been there. I noticed it 2 years ago, and I have brought it up with different people, and I even called the school, and I've even tried to contact the school board commissioner who has her signs all over the nice elementary school, and her email says it's full, so she can't take emails. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's a thing between governmental departments, I don't know, county versus city versus, but we live in South Miami, and I'm proud of that school, and that's embarrassing. My other item is the Metro Rail. Now, when it goes by, and it goes by here, I don't know how loud it is in this chamber, but I guarantee if you're standing just outside that glass window right there, you've got to stop your conversation. You can't have a conversation when that thing goes by. I love the Metro Rail. I believe in it. I believe in public transportation.
Right on cue.
Right on cue.
There you go. The perception becomes reality. I don't know if this is conspiracy theory, but you hear all kinds of stuff. The wheels, they don't have the maintenance money to maintain the wheels. That's why it's loud. The model of the train is not the right one for the track, but it's too late to turn back now, kind of thing. I don't know if it's true or not. That's what I hear. They're gonna put some kind of sound barriers up, and then when you call them about it, I haven't talked to anybody about it because I haven't been able to get hold of anybody from the county. But they say, no, there's sound barriers up, they're up. If you've experienced what I've experienced, I'm outraged every time it happens, and I've lived here for 31 years. It's gotten louder. So please, these 2 items, as a neighbor, I bought my house 31 years ago, almost about the same as the career of the great corporal. Thank you, by the way, for your service. Well, he's gone fishing already, but anyway. Thank you. I hope he catches a big fish. But anyway, thank you for all your time tonight, and I just wanted to bring those items to your attention.
Fred, just quickly on those both items, I think the first one I'll reach out to the PTA and the principal with whom I stay in contact and ask about the sign. I'm sure they must operate it locally, is my guess. And then I will tell you on the noise attenuation, all the panels, to my knowledge, that were going to be installed for noise attenuation are already up. Those are those lovely white panels. I think the problem is a function that the rolling stock was updated, but the gauge that remained the same. So it's just producing more noise. I mean, I hear it in my neighborhood, and it's 0.8 of a mile from the rail. So I can only imagine it's more impactful here. We hear it all the time here as well. So I apologize. We will pass it along to Commissioner Regalado and our colleagues at the county, but I would ask you that's probably the best outlet for your concerns, because since they've got the ability to actually do something about that, since they operate the system.
I'm sorry, to do what exactly?
Contact the county and Commissioner Regalado and/or the mayor's office, since it is their system. We will certainly put calls in on your behalf and let them know that we are getting increased complaints about noise, even post the panels deployment, because they started this deployment project about 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago. My understanding is it's completed at this point. Mr. Manager, I don't know if you have any further information. We had a presentation here about a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah,
And-
Mayor, I do not, you know, the extent of what they were going to put out there, what we were told was completed. And certainly, since they changed their stock, from reports from people, it seems like now it's lighter than it used to be.
Correct.
Based on the prior cars, so those cars are actually pretty new. But we certainly can reach out to them again on behalf of our residents.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. On St. Patty's Day, I'm going to make an Irish exit.
You know. Mr. Lopez, good evening.
Hello, Jason Lopez, 7730 Southwest 65th Place. I will start off by once again campaigning for you guys to spend money on more parks in South Miami. I don't think we should let that one go. As these buildings go up around us, we lose space, and you guys have a lot of say in what happens. I know that I appreciate the green space being saved in my neighborhood every day when I think about what's going on around, and so I'm here to encourage you to continue that. Borrow some money, buy some land before the developers do. Secondly, I'm also here to talk about Metrorail. In my house, when the Metrorail goes by, we put up the letter M, like shut up. We have to hold on until the train goes by. And we've made a joke out of it, but that train's really disruptive. I sleep with our windows open. We don't use AC for a lot of the year if we can help it. And it enters the house and it bounces around and you can hear it coming from one end, going all the way down the other way. And they run the trains at random times in the middle of the night. It's not predictable. Sometimes it's 12:30, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4:30. So there's always a train moving in the middle of the night. They start at 5, they go till midnight. It's constant. You come into our neighborhood and you have to stop conversations. And I realize that the county is the one that controls this, and I realize that there's other people, but you guys are the ones that represent us. And so I think it's reasonable to ask you for help on this. I know 5 years ago I spoke to the county, and they said, oh, it's Hurricane Irma damage, we're replacing the panels next year. Here we are 5 years later, there's still panels missing. So it's like the work's not completed. And they might have finished working on it, but they didn't complete it. But all of that aside, like there is a simple solution, and that's just slowing the train down. When the train is running at full bore, the decibels increase. You can hear it. So you don't need meters. You don't need anything fancy. You just need to be alive. And if they were to just simply slow the train down and not run it at their full speed, the neighborhoods and your constituency would be much happier and calmer in their homes. It would be awesome if you guys would take this fight on for us. I know that I was pushed around, sent to a bunch of different places. I spoke to people. They were like, oh, we'll come out, we'll talk to you. And then eventually they stopped answering calls. You know, they stopped being accountable. And the train continues to be as loud as it ever was. Louder, exactly, louder. Especially wintertime, you know, like when we lose the foliage and we lose that protection, there's no moisture in the air, it's so much louder. And so it'd be awesome if you guys were able to somehow fix that for us.
We'll follow up. No promises, though. Thank you. Anyone else would like to address this commission in public remarks that's not signed up?
And anyone on Zoom, please raise your virtual hand.
Okay, seeing no one in the chamber and no one online, we will close public remarks. Let's move on with the rest of the agenda. Colleagues, I'm going to suggest we go to item 4, which is the brokerage item, since we do have them here, and then move on to item 8, which is the CRA item. Any objections? Okay, Madam Clerk, if you can read item 4, please.
It's item 4, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of South Miami, Florida, selecting USI Insurance Services LLC for a multi-year term to provide insurance brokerage services pursuant to RFQ number HR 2026-01.
Mr. Manager, you're recognized for a presentation. Madam
Thank you,
Manager?
Mayor. Yeah, our deputy will present on this item.
Thank you.
So the city's been working with USI as our health insurance broker for the last 2 years, but it had been about 3 years since we put out a formal RFP. So we did that to see if we got some competitive bids. We did. We had 5 responses that were very capable vendors. We had a committee that met. It was myself, Wendy, who's our HR manager, and Alfredo, our CFO, and ultimately USI scored and ranked number one. They had a strong proposal and a competitive commission structure in comparison to the other ones. I know that our HR team is eager to continue to work with them. They've been very responsive, not only to us, but also to our employees, which is very important. And as the mayor stated, we have representatives from USI if you have any questions for them directly.
Thank you. Colleagues, any questions of the manager or of the vendor? Nope. Okay. Is there a motion on item 8?
It's a public hearing.
Oh, it's a public hearing item. I'm sorry, yes, it is. So my apologies. If there's any member of the public who'd like to address this commission with regard to the selection of an insurance broker for the city pursuant to a published RFP, which is item 4 on tonight's agenda, please come forward at this time. Is there anyone online, Madam Manager?
No.
Okay, seeing no one in the chamber and no one online, we will close the public hearing. I saw someone just came out of the waiting room.
Yes.
I'm going to offer them.
Anyone on Zoom would like to speak on item 4, please raise your virtual hand.
Okay, seeing no one online, we will close the public hearing. Colleagues, is there a motion to adopt item 4?
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Bonich and a second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Madam Clerk, if you can call the roll, please.
Yes, Commissioner Bonich,
Yes.
Commissioner Kaye,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Corey,
Yes.
Mayor Fernandez.
Yes.
Item passes 5-0.
Great, thank you. Congratulations. Look forward to continue to work with you all. Madam Clerk, if you can read item 8, please.
Item 8. This is a long one.
Correct, this is not a public hearing item.
An ordinance of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of South Miami, Florida, confirming the finding of necessity adopted by the Board of County Commissioners of Miami-Dade County pursuant to Section 163.355 Florida statutes after a public hearing that a slum or blighted area exists within the city, which is generally bounded by Southwest 57th Avenue to the east, Southwest 76th Street to the south, Southwest 62nd Avenue to the west, and Southwest 62nd Street to the north area, and that the rehabilitation, conservation, or redevelopment, or a combination thereof of such area, including the development of housing which residents of low or moderate income, including the elderly, can afford, is necessary in the interest of the public health, safety, morals, or welfare of the residents of the City of South Miami and Miami-Dade County, Florida, confirming the need for a community redevelopment agency, creating the South Miami Community Redevelopment Agency, CRA, and declaring the mayor and city commission of the City of South Miami, together with a county commissioner or other designee appointed by the Board of County Commissioners, to be the governing body of the South Miami CRA pursuant to Section 163.357 Florida statutes, further designating the city manager as the executive director of the South Miami CRA and the city attorney as the general counsel for the South Miami CRA.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Colleagues, we do have Mr. Crowder here present, our consultant on this matter, the city attorney. Do we have any questions of either of them with respect to item 8?
I do not.
Do not?
Nope.
No.
Just for the benefit of the public, Mr. City Attorney, can you kind of walk us through this step and the next steps that'll happen over the course of the next few weeks?
Sure.
So we can just kind of share with the public where we are in the
Sure
process.
thing, Mayor. So this step is the first step in creation of the CRA. This commission had previously approved in concept the finding of necessity, a draft interlocal agreement, and the redevelopment plan. The actual process had to go to the county at that point. The county reviewed that and actually issued the finding of necessity. That's why I say we approved it in concept. So now, at this point, we are confirming the county's approval of the finding of necessity. In addition, what the county did after finding issuing the finding of necessity, they delegated the power to create the CRA to this commission, and then for the CRA that is to be created to meet with the sole power of adopting the redevelopment plan, which will be your next steps. Once you create this, and we're going to create this by ordinance, we're going to have 2 readings on this, you would confirm the finding of necessity tonight, you would create the CRA and declare the mayor and city commission as the board, and in addition, the manager as executive director, the city attorney as the general counsel for the CRA, and then the CRA would then meet in its first meeting for the purpose, pursuant to the county delegation, of adopting the redevelopment plan, transmitting that plan to the county so that the county can take the next steps, accept the redevelopment plan, and enter into or approve an interlocal agreement. It would be something along the lines of what we had previously looked at.
Thank you for the summary. Colleagues, no questions?
I just have one question to the city attorney. The roughly time frame from this point to the interlocal agreement, what would you say?
Well, we have 6 months according to so we're not wasting any time. This was approved, maybe I want to say 2 weeks ago by the county commission. So we intend to move very quickly to not lose any of that time. Roughly time frame, so we need one more reading of this. Then the CRA will meet and adopt the redevelopment plan. That will be transmitted to the county. The county will then have to approve the redevelopment plan. So it really, the timing will depend on how quickly we can get on a county commission agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So Commissioner Rodriguez, I think it's fair to say April 7th, we'll hear this a second time, correct? But looking at probably April 21st.
Meet at the CRA.
As our first CRA meeting, adopt the redevelopment plan, the interlocal, and then meet as the city commission and do the same so we can transmit to the county.
That's right.
So hopefully on our end, we'll be done by the 21st, all things going smoothly. Okay?
Thank you.
No problem.
Yep.
Any further questions? Is there a motion on item 8, please?
I'll move the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, so a motion to adopt item 8 by Commissioner Rodriguez, a second by Commissioner Bonich. Madam Clerk, if you can call the roll, please.
Yes, Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Kaye,
Yes.
Commissioner Bonich,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Corey,
Yes.
Mayor Fernandez.
Yes.
Item passes 5-0.
Thank you. I believe we've got our distinguished planner in the back, so can we read items 5 and 6 next, please?
Yes, item 5. An ordinance of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of South Bend, Florida, amending section 20-3.6 supplemental regulations of Article 3 zoning regulations of the Land Development Code to amend regulations related to fences and walls.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Manager, do you want Mr. Alvarez to present or Ms. Cabrera, or do you got the background on this item for us? Ms. Cabrera, good evening.
We'll tee it up.
She's coming up, so she's clearly on
Good
deck.
evening, Sonia Cabrera, Development Services Director. So this is for corner lots. There was a request from a resident that came to us that on corner lots for the backyard on the side that faces the street, there's no privacy. So we looked at the code and decided that it was a good idea to let them have a higher wall height, go from 4 to 6 feet, provided that they recess the wall 2 feet and the footing so that they could put planting. The planting has to be 4 feet high at the time. The trees have to be 4 feet high at the time of planting, and they need to be maintained, which we'll do through code enforcement. But the idea is to allow these corner lots to have privacy in their backyards.
Colleagues, any questions? No? Sir, you're recognized.
Go. So one of the things I was looking at the code in item, one line item 108, which is section H, so of the section code 20-3.6, letter H, number 3.
Hold on a second. Let us catch up with you here, if you don't
Sorry
mind.
about that.
Okay, so you said 108 was the line?
108 is the line.
Okay. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Where it shows little 3 eyes for the corner lots, solid walls, so we're talking about the 6 feet maximum. The only problem that the only question I have for my colleagues is that currently we have the code at the line, at the sidewalk line, currently at 4 feet. And the way this is written, to my understanding, it looks like we're imposing a 2-foot setback. Even if the client or the resident wants to keep a 4-foot, we're still asking them to go 2 feet back over 50, 100 feet or 150 feet. That's a lot of square footage that they would be losing if they don't have to. So I would just ask, do we want to keep it that way? Or do we want to say if you go over 4 feet, then you need the
No, I agree.
2-foot setback?
I understand. So
Because I don't
If
want
I
to
can address.
Yes, you can, sir.
To the Mayor, if you look at lines 90 and 96 on the previous page, those are other options. And those allow the owner to build to 4 feet high with some level of transparency above that, so that, and they would do that at the property line.
Yeah, but it's okay, but I think he's talking, that
That's
line 90 refers to wooden fences. So he's asking about
The corner lot specifically,
Yes, but a
which is
masonry
line
fence.
item 3I.
This is intended to be an option, not a not this is the only thing you can do. You can, if you build it at 4 feet, you can be at the property line. If you're on,
If you go to
with-
6 feet, you have to recess.
correct. We can make that clearer, because there seems to be a question about it. We're happy to do that between first and second reading.
I guess because it says I is just wooden fences, then I2 is masonry wall. It's just not, it wasn't just clear to me, that's all.
Okay. We can say including corner lots.
I think the point is that we don't want to, if someone already wants that, I don't want to take it away from them, is my point, at 4 feet.
Correct. Okay, understood.
Understood.
You're recognized, Commissioner Rodriguez.
All right, sorry, one quick question. So, excuse my honesty, but I honestly had no idea that we had a 4-foot wall ordinance. Excuse me for not knowing, because we drive around the city and I see many corner lots with 6-foot fences.
6-foot fence.
So what are we gonna do with those that are currently at 6 foot on the property line? Are we just grandfathered them in?
If they were permitted and finalized,
Yeah,
then
we-
they're grandfathered in, and they're
I
legal
would-
non-conforming.
I would just say this, Commissioner Rodriguez, I think probably instructed to have a conversation with the manager on this topic, so you can get some of the background and how we arrived at this compromise, because that was certainly one of the arguments made by the resident that was a proponent of this change, because she was observing conditions that I think were permitted, that may have not been to the current code. So
Correct.
I would just encourage all of you to have a conversation with the manager about that. Okay? So this would be, economize our time here. Further questions?
No, that's it.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve item 5?
Are we going to ask for the amendment?
Yes, you can make the motion with the amendment.
Yeah,
to
I'll make the
provide it-
motion with the
Clarify
amendment.
that it's an alternative to the standard, not a requirement.
Correct.
Okay, so
I'll
a
make
motion
that
as
motion with the
amended.
amendment.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Vice Mayor Corey, and again, a motion as amended by Commissioner Gaye. Madam Clerk, if you can call the roll, please.
Yes, Commissioner Kaye,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Bonish,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Corey,
Yes.
Mayor Fernandez.
Yes.
Item passed first
Okay,
reading.
the motion passes as amended on first reading. If you can read item 6, please.
Item 6, an ordinance of the Mayor City Commission of the City of South Bend, Florida, amending section 20-8.9 Street Hierarchy Plan of Article 8 Transit Supportive Development District of the Land Development Code to provide the manner of adoption of subsequent amendment for the Streetscape Master Plan, adopting the Streetscape Master Plan.
Mr. Manager, is this you, Mr. Alvarez, Ms. Cabrera? Who's up on this one for us?
Yeah, I'll just make a mention, and certainly a city attorney can further that, but as you had discussed previously, this is following the direction from the commission, wanting to codify what we had at this time as a design guideline/standard as a result of the placemaking exercise. We had made a comment that we were going to possibly wait for the construction documents that would have more specificity and add some of that to these guidelines. I think they would desire not to wait up to that point. So this is codifying what is already attached that you've seen before. I think at a later date, maybe that could be amended from time to time if you see fit with more information, and certainly let the city attorney cover anything that maybe I didn't share that you may have a question on.
Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. That was a great summary. That's actually, that's what we're doing here. We have, Placervia has put together the street-safe guidelines. We just want to adopt them to get them in place. Right now, our code is written so that it contemplated that these guidelines would be developed and that at some point they would be adopted by this board and that they would rule over whatever was already in the code. We've just made that a little clearer, and then we've included the ability to modify them by resolution of this commission.
By resolution?
By resolution, correct. We expect that in a few months, you will have much more developed plans that you all have paid for.
Yes.
And those would be adopted as future, that we would bring that back to you for consideration as future guidelines.
Mr. Alvarez, did you want to add anything, or were you ready for questions?
Just for questions, but I would note that we are bringing forward sort of an omnibus of some small changes to the TSDD and where we can. So for example, we have tables that have right-of-way widths. We'll make the changes that we can right now and wait for further instruction.
Okay. Mr. Rodriguez, you're recognized.
First, I want to thank the city manager and staff for moving on this. I think this is very important and something we needed. My question is, going forward, how's implementation going to look like? As far as like if we have a new developer or a new building coming online, are these going to be part of our zoning code, or are we going to provide them part of the development agreement, these guidelines? How's the implementation done? Or city attorney, whoever.
Yeah, so these are being adopted. What's proposed before you is to adopt these as part of this ordinance. So these would be a separate document that we can put on the website for a developer to look at, and we'll have to gear their plans towards that. There is the ability for the manager to waive specific elements, to address, specific issues, modifications where it might be necessary because of the street geography or whatnot.
Okay.
Or just to better match what they're trying to do. So there is some flexibility built in, but these should be the guidelines in implementing all the right-of-way improvements in front of a
So it'll be part of the review process for the building department?
Correct. Well, part of the review process, yeah, at both the building department, even before that, when it gets to this commission or through the site plan
Okay,
approval process.
awesome, thank you.
Yeah, many of the developments are large-scale special exceptions. So since this will be part of an ordinance, we will use this to guide those developments as they come to the commission for approval.
Okay, great, thank you.
Just a quick question, on the aesthetic elements, or the aesthetics of the particular elements, colors, street furniture, are we expecting that this is the pattern, this is the palette or the menu of options people are selecting from, or what is, are these the final choices, I guess is my simplistic way of answering the question? Street furniture, the interlocking pavers that are selected, the colors, and then how is this being integrated in the existing plans for projects that are under development, be it Sunset Place and/or Avalon Bay? Yeah. And the one across the street, yes.
I'm going to answer the question by reflecting it back at the commission. I think for the code and for a lot of what we're going to do with this document and guiding large-scale special exceptions to the commission is to use the metrics and the numbers that are in here. The right-of-ways, the sidewalk widths, and so forth.
So just the envelope, but not the aesthetic elements?
And then the aesthetic elements, I think as we go to construction documents, that discussion will probably come up and we'll follow the commission's lead on that.
Right. Yeah,
Does that make sense?
These are the current selections. Obviously, we would prefer to have your input and your guidance.
Okay, I'm trying to understand where we are, whether this is what's being recommended, or whether this has been vetted and blessed by a majority of the board and individual conversations.
This was presented to you all at some point several months ago,
Yes.
and based on whatever input you all gave, it was revised somewhat, but it may not be all the way there yet, and that's something that's why we've provided for it to be modifiable by resolution.
Okay, I'm just, as I'm looking, because there's
Concrete
the
pad.
surface materials on page 7 of the PDF, right?
Mm-hmm.
Provide, 3 surface alternatives, I'm assuming an accent, which is the quartz material, right? But how that's going to get implemented section to section is not, it doesn't seem to be prescribed in these documents. Am I understanding that correctly?
I think that's accurate. I think the construction drawings will fill in a lot of.
Okay, but so the question is, for me, is
Yeah.
when do we take the next step of seeing how these materials could interact on a segment with each other? And what's the pattern we want to see deployed across the district? I don't think this document gets to that level of specificity. It certainly gets to the expected dimensions of each right-of-way
Right.
and the zones where these materials could be deployed, where we want them deployed, particularly furniture and other amenities. But in terms of the actual pattern and aesthetic, it's not prescriptive. And I'm wondering, maybe that's by choice, and you're looking for that direction. And maybe we as a board want to leave it open-ended that way and leave this as the frame, but wasn't sure that we had made a decision as a board on that issue.
Yeah, I don't believe you have.
Want to clarify for the benefit of my colleagues as
Yeah,
well.
I
Okay,
think that's accurate.
okay. So let me start left to right. That's okay. Yes, Madam Commissioner, you're recognized.
On page 9, we need to revisit the benches. We don't
Page
need
9.
beds, we need benches.
No, understood. You want something with a center bar. I'm
With a
guessing.
center bar and that concrete block, I don't really understand what's going on there.
I think that was, I'm assuming the concrete or the stone element was probably a reflection of some of the existing aesthetic but in a slightly different form. Is that correct, Mr. Alvarez?
The way I read this document, for example, on this, is these are pictures to highlight some ideas, to give you ideas, but the actual language says, "SOMI branded benches made from durable and comfortable materials should be placed in shaded areas and along the main pathways." That's the sentence that I would use to guide a development, and not this, because it doesn't say.
So Mr. Alvarez, just to be very, like, coloring by numbers here
Yeah.
for the, I'm gonna say, I need the manual for dummies, okay, for me. If I'm reading this document as a prospective builder, right, or their designer, am I selecting from 1, 2, 3, 4 bench options? Or 5, 6 bench options that are here?
No, because the document doesn't say that.
Okay, so is that what we want, colleagues? Do we want to prescribe a series of,
We haven't gotten there, Mayor.
okay.
So if I may.
So then I guess the question
Is
is,
this a little preemptive? Like, is this a little early to the game? I don't-
so look, I guess then I would ask, then from a regulatory perspective, what is this giving us that we don't already have? That's in the code.
As far as, yeah, for the right-of-ways, for the numbers, for the sidewalk dimensions, they are on some of the diagrams. We will use those. We will use,
So
again,
you're talking
sentence
about
like this that-
talking about slides 16 through the end of the document.
Yes.
Which are the ones that you would actually apply?
Yeah, slide, for pages 16 towards the end, these, or, if I have to show this. And this is, again, this is not we're adopting a document done by the other consultant. So we will use these to actually, as much as possible, rectify the tables already in the code and go forward with that. As far as some of the more less numerical, less objective character kind of photographs, we'll just, we want benches or don't want benches. That's something for the commission to decide. And what the aesthetics will be, we have a code that's very open to surfaces and aesthetics, and we intentionally did that. So that's going to be probably another discussion to how to implement this.
Mr. Vice Mayor, did you want to add anything quickly? Okay. Mr. Rodriguez.
So what I'm noticing through this, ultimately, obviously, and I now that the mayor brings it up, I agree, when there's options, we don't, at least personally, and I'm sure my colleagues feel the same, we don't want, like, for example, one bench on one street and then a different bench on another street. So if I'm looking at this correctly, and I guess staff can tell me if I'm right or wrong, once the Sunset Drive CDs are completed, and once we have chosen the final fixtures for those plans, lighting, bollards, benches, so on and so forth, all those, those would now become the standard
Yes.
for the rest of the SOMI district.
Correct.
Correct?
Right now,
That's
we don't
correct.
have.
So that's how we will get
correct.
to the final ones,
This
when we
is-
approve the CDs.
This is like narrowing the set of
Yeah, but
options or influencing it, hurting people towards that. But we're not there
Who
yet.
are we hurting? We're not hurting anyone. I mean, it sounds like we need to be herded into a final option, from what I'm hearing.
That's a separate
So,
conversation.
so I'm sorry to be that unpolitic about it, but I think, I don't know, we need to wait till the construction drawings are done, right? We can certainly make these decisions now. And so I think what I would like to see before we adopt this is, just give us a couple of options to choose from, and let's make a selection. And if you can show us an example as to how these materials could be deployed in a typical section, so we can decide what are the right combinations. Maybe it's not prescriptive in every detail, but at least we understand that how these can be combined so that we get a aesthetically pleasing outcome, as opposed to something that could be a mismatch, even with just a very limited set of elements. I think that's what I thought we were driving towards.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that this document gets us closer to that. It certainly feels nice,
It
feels
suggests
warm and fuzzy, but I'm not sure it's gonna get us to the ultimate outcome. Am I speaking out of turn here, guys?
Sounds like you're getting herded, that's fine.
Oh
We're getting
my.
herded, we're gonna herd until we get it done.
Do we want to, okay, but we think we need another step, or,
We definitely know. I mean,
Okay.
we-
Yeah, we definitely, we need to choose one.
okay.
So one is one bench,
Can I offer a suggestion?
one light.
Yes, you may offer a suggestion.
I propose maybe that we take those elements out at the moment and look at what we're considering the street hierarchy plan. Let's say we're good with that, and then visit, how we want.
Can I ask a question about
Want
that?
to
Mr. Alvarez, aren't we taking that right out of the code? But doesn't the TSDD have the street hierarchy plan and those dimensions?
It does.
Prescribed in it?
And we're going to try to fold them in together.
Okay.
There are slight differences on how this treats the streets, and we'll try to, as part of the changes that will come forward for a lot of other things in the TSD, we'll bring those things forward to the extent that they're not policy changes. And then the rest will, I think, if I can recommend, I think it would be good to have the Plus Urbia and the consultants that did this come forward and have that discussion with the aesthetics, and then the commission can decide on the aesthetics. We can codify it or create a policy out of it.
Okay. Yes, you're recognized.
I agree with what you're saying, that probably the best avenue is maybe do a sunshine or a specific meeting where we can sit and decide and make the decisions and pick what fixtures, what benches, what, so on and so forth that we want for Sunset Drive.
Let's remember that we did one version of that already, where we picked an idealized
Correct, like a
feel
modern
for
or
it.
non-modern.
Exactly, you
yes.
guys were like, wood, yes, modern this.
Yes.
So we've done that step, so really they're just taking us to the next step.
Yeah, now we just need to pick the
To pick
actual
it,
fixtures.
yeah.
All right. Is that?
Okay. What action do we need to take, if any, with respect to this document tonight?
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I think what Commissioner Bonich was saying is that maybe on the formats that we haven't chosen, just put TBDs on them, and the rest of the stuff should be fine.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so who wants to give me the list of the TBDs?
You did it, page 8 and above, right?
No, I think it's pretty interspersed throughout the document, so, I mean,
You guys, I think it's slide 7, 8, 9.
let me ask this question. Is there any urgency for us to adopt this evening, or can we bring this back on the 7th for a workshop, and then as an action item that evening if it requires adoption?
The only urgency was this body was concerned about waiting till construction drawings and wanted to like codify something in the interim. That's why it came back in this fashion at this point. So certainly, there's time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have we had a conversation with the sponsors of the two projects that are actually advancing
We have-
streetscape plans?
And we have meetings scheduled with each of them.
But they haven't seen this, you haven't seen this proposed aesthetic, correct?
They may have seen it already. I don't recall if it's been got into their hands. I'm assuming they've seen it, but we have
Okay,
meetings
but
scheduled.
we don't know definitively whether this is something that they're gonna, are thinking about replicating or doing something similar. Again, I feel like we are moving in one direction, and they are moving in directions that are not coordinated.
No, we have harmonizing meetings scheduled.
Okay.
That actually I've seen emails on getting those meetings with Avalon and Sunset Place to do exactly what you're saying. I'm assuming they've seen this. I just don't want to say for sure it's in their hands, but I'm assuming that they've seen it.
Has Town Center seen this, for example? Our advisory board?
Advisory board, yeah.
No.
Did it go before them, Sam? Do you remember? The packet, no?
I think, excuse
I
me,
recognize, yeah.
I think probably the most important development is the one across the street, because they're right on Sunset. So this is absolutely applicable to them, more than Avalon and, well, not more than Sunset Place, but they're way ahead of Sunset Place, so I guess
Yeah,
coordinate.
we were sharing with projects that haven't designed their project yet versus somebody who's already designed and in construction. That was the approach.
I mean, yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying we don't want that section to be obviously different than the rest of Sunset Drive. So I think coordinating with that project is probably more urgent.
Well, I think the question there is, what have they been permitted for?
Yeah,
And to what extent does it depart from these standards? Are they doing a typical concrete sidewalk section? Or are they doing some sort of an enhanced paver framework? If they're doing something that's enhanced, we may want to ask them to modify their civil permits. They just do a standard section, and we just come back later and we,
Yeah.
then execute the section. It's gonna make it more expensive for us, but at least we're not gonna have a possible issue with there being a mismatch in the aesthetic.
I don't remember, Mayor, because that project
Okay.
got approved some time ago before this.
Yeah, it did.
Product ever came out, so we would have to see exactly what that looks like and where we can make some changes.
Okay, you know, I'll defer to you, Mr. Manager, whether we need to adopt this or not. I don't know that it's gonna make that big a material change if we take action today or not on this. What I wanna understand personally, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, is what are those other projects doing? Is this an aesthetic that has really, that unanimity of support, but some widespread support? I'd like to hear from those other stakeholders. I'd like to hear from the advisory board that we created on this issue, just to get some more feedback beyond just what the five of us think, since we all have to live with the outcome for a very long time, probably 3 decades. So, certainly I'd like that feedback before we go ahead and actually embark on the exercise of the material selection beyond what we've already gotten by way of recommendations from the Blue Survey-led team, which certainly they've proposed some options for us to consider. Colleagues, thoughts? Commissioner Bonich, why are you being so shy today?
I'm not, I'm just trying to figure out a nice way to say this. I think we as a body of 5 will need guidance when we're making these decisions, because we as a body of 5, well, 4, wanted to make the garage look like the Incredible Hulk. So I think the best way forward is for Plus Serbia to come to us with, not a universe of options.
There should be rooms to go. I got 3 options, right?
Yes.
With all
Yes.
these things combined, and they show us, here's how they apply to this section.
Exactly.
Now they can look, here's another version of the same section, here's the third, and we can pick option A, B, or C.
I agree.
I think we should probably
Thank you.
present it the same way to everyone else
Yes,
I like
and
it.
try to come to a consensus that way. Good?
yes. That's what I was gonna say, whatever we present to the town center should be the 3 or 4 or 5 options that they have, so they pick one, and then we take that one into consideration, then we pick our one.
Or they can rank them for us in terms of their
Yeah,
preference.
exactly,
right?
and then
So-
we pick the final one, and that's what the town center's gonna look like,
Okay.
and Sunset Drive, or Somi District.
Again, this is just all the public portions on the designated streets. If Sunset Place wants to create interior muses and use different materials on the portions that are controlled by the CDD, et cetera, on their private property, I have no objection to that. Same with any other project, but at least on the designated streets,
Yes.
that public facing aesthetic is at least uniform, or as close to uniform as possible. Okay, so
100%.
so should we defer this to 4/7?
You may want to defer it for further if
Yes.
to later, because you,
Okay, so the 21st
several steps.
or
21st,
21?
is that sufficient time?
Yeah, the meetings are, one I think is already scheduled, the other
Okay.
one is in the process of being scheduled, so they'll definitely take place. I mean, obviously, 21st, there may be some homework after those meetings, so 21st is a little safer.
That's fine. Let's defer this item then to the 21st. Without objection, show it deferred till that date. Okay. Is there anyone else here in the chamber that's here for a specific item? Mr. Alvarez, are you done for the evening? Or you have another item pending? No, I think I'm done. Good. I'll stick around for that. No, thank you.
Kicking him out?
No, I'm not kicking him
Why
out.
are you
I just,
kicking
I don't
out
want, I usually,
Mark?
I usually make him stay all the way to the end, not by design, it's by sheer neglect, and I apologize for that. So I want to make sure I get him out of here earlier than not tonight.
I will stay for the public benefit fund.
Okay, great. So let's take that one up next.
Which one was that?
Item 3, please. Yes.
Kick him
Item
for it.
3, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of South Miami, Florida, approving the establishment of the Public Benefits Trust Fund and approving and adopting the Public Benefits Trust Fund policy for the purpose of receiving payments in lieu of contributions and directing the use of funds in connection with development bonus programs pursuant to Section 20-8.8 of the city's Land Development Code.
Mr. City Attorney, I think this item was yours or Mr. Alvarez as a lead?
I can give you a brief summary. This was presented to you last meeting.
Yes.
We received direction to eliminate some of the, any ongoing costs that would result in future years' impacts. So what we've done, if you look at specifically 2.6 and 4.2, 2.6 deals with those types of expenditures and operational activities that are first tied to a capital project, and then where those expenditures are committed for less than 1 year. So it's specific short-term funding, such as overtime hours or any particular implementation issues that are needed for a new capital project. In 4.2, we have the concept of surge programs. These are for acute needs. They're overtime traffic and parking enforcement, or other beautification, remediation, or safety enhancements. And it would be limited to temporary staffing, not to exceed 1 year, or funding of overtime in connection with those types of surge programs. And that is to address or mitigate the impact of new development.
Okay. Colleagues, any questions regarding the changes?
No, Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Alvarez, anything you want to add? You good? Okay. Is there a motion to adopt the policy in item 3?
I'll move the motion, Mayor.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Kaya and a second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Kaye?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Bonish?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Corey?
Yes.
Mayor Fernandez?
Yes.
Item passes 5-0.
Thank you. Okay. If you could read CA1, please. For item 1.
Oh, item 1. Oh, I'm sorry. A resolution of the Mayor City Commission of the City of South Miami, Florida, designating Mayor Javier Fernandez as the city's director and Vice Mayor Brian Corey as the alternate director with Miami-Dade League of Cities.
Colleagues, any discussion? No? Is there a motion?
Move the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, it's a motion by Commissioner Kaya, second by Commissioner Bonich. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Kaye?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Bonish?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Corey?
Yes.
Mayor Fernandez?
Yes.
Item passes 5-0.
Great. Let's read item, I'm going to skip 2 because I've got to excuse myself for that one. Do you want to take up item F1, the add-on?
Yes. A resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of South Miami, Florida, recognizing April as Autism Acceptance Month, directing the city manager to fly the Autism Acceptance Flag beginning on April 2nd, 2026, and throughout the month of April.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Bonich, did you want to kick us off on this? No? Or is it the manager? Yes, Mr. Manager. Sorry, you're recognized. My apologies.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioner Bernich did make us aware that this opportunity was out there, and we're going to partner up with Commissioner Regalado's office, donating a flag, the appropriate flag for this purpose. Again, it would begin on April 2nd, and the flag for autism would fly through the balance of the month of April in recognition of Autism Awareness Day and Autism Awareness Month. And Commissioner Regalado will be providing that. So this is before you for your approval.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Thank you for that. Who'd like to move the item?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
A motion by Commissioner Kaya, a second by Commissioner Bonich. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on F1.
Yes, Commissioner Bonish?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Kaye?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Corey?
Yes.
Mayor Fernandez?
Yes.
Item passes 5-0.
Okay, if you can read F2, please.
F2, an ordinance of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of South Miami, Florida, creating Section 15-75, work prohibited on Sundays and holidays of Article 1 in general of Chapter 15, offenses and miscellaneous provisions of the City Code of Ordinances to prohibit certain activities on Sundays and legal holidays.
Thank you. And remind me, did we withdraw item 7?
Yes.
We did, okay. Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, why don't you read us through the proposed amendment?
Certainly. So it's pretty straightforward. This is a general prohibition on work on Sundays and holidays for any activity that would require a permit, making it unlawful to do the work on those days. It is not focused on noise. It is a general prohibition,
Okay.
and only in single-family districts.
Oh, yes, you're recognized, ma'am.
Previously, we had stated that if there was work being done inside of a single-family home over the weekend, that was okay. Remember, it was painting, electric, like all the stuff that didn't make noise, that didn't affect other people, but it sounds like this is taking that away.
So, yeah, you're
That's
right, you're
permanent
right. The
work.
way it is written, it would take that away.
Well, let me
Yeah.
just clarify.
Yeah.
Painting does not require, we don't
No.
require a permit for paint for.
Only something
permit
that
for
just
interior painting.
requires a permit, correct.
Only what?
Only something that would require a permit.
Permit, yeah.
And we don't consider that the work being done inside of a house that is being built or remodeled falls under that?
It's never been the rule that we allowed construction, except during, we created a pilot program
We did. and
that
that
expired,
passed.
that allowed work on Saturdays.
Right.
That's something we can revisit, but right now it's something that's not authorized. So if we want to revisit that, we can look at reinstituting it. I think we should do it in conjunction with some more code enforcement, because, we've got some people out there that are just doing
The Wild West?
that's not Wild West, it's not that bad, but, they know we're not out there, is all I'll say. Yes, sir. You got a-
Oh,
yeah,
me.
Yes, you had a question?
No, I was just, because Commissioner Bonich wasn't here the last time when, the last meeting where I brought this up. There was long story, there was an instant, they were cutting down trees, it was making noise, people went berserks over this. So, to just generally, there was no code enforcement to go out there, so we had to have police out there, so we're using the police force to go regulate, because it was a holiday. So, just to make it simple, and not just, there was a loophole. So no construction is work, but you can cut down trees, which have chainsaws, and other work can be done that causes disturbances. It's just better, it was just to, encompass everything that has a permit, cannot just be done on a holiday. It's simple as painting. You can have a crew of 5 people that are, taking their break and outside and talking, whatever it may be. It's a holiday, let's let our residents just relax, and one day of work, and I'm in construction, one day of work isn't gonna kill you. Of not working, isn't gonna, so that's the premise of it, in short.
Okay, further questions? Okay. Supply to commercial landscapers, Mr. City Attorney, just out of curiosity? Would not, correct, because does not require a permit?
It does, it's based on a threshold.
If it is, well, if it's work that requires a permit only.
Correct, so if it required a
Correct.
tree permit, but if it did not, if I was doing regular maintenance beyond less than a third of the canopy, we'd
Correct.
be good.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
but still induces noise.
They could still, yeah, they would be regulated by the other provision that we were modifying in item 7 that
Okay.
you guys withdrew.
So we've got that covered, however,
That's
in your
right.
opinion?
Yeah.
Okay. You're just trying to anticipate the next complaint. Okay.
That would,
Well, that was.
Further, yes, sir, you're
that
recognized.
would fall under the noise
Mhm.
ordinance,
Correct.
if it's too loud.
It's too loud. Okay. Further comments? Okay, is there a motion to adopt the item?
I'll move the motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion by Commissioner Rodriguez, a second by Vice Mayor Corey. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on item F2 here on first reading.
Yes. Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Kaye?
Yes.
Commissioner Bonich?
Sorry, yes.
Vice Mayor Corey?
Yes.
Mayor Fernandez?
Yes.
Item passes first reading 5-0.
Let's read item 3. I'm going to excuse myself because I had a bunch of pre-client communication on item 2, excuse me. I pass the gavel to the Vice Mayor, and I'm going to step out of the room for the discussion. Thank you.
You have to leave, man. That's why I was saying you have to leave, because you have to like.
Okay, I'll just go right outside. It's over here. This can get me when it's over.
Okay. Item 2, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of South Miami, Florida, supporting the preservation of Miami-Dade County Urban Development Boundary, UDB, urging the Board of County Commissioners to uphold Mayor Daniela Levine Cava's veto of proposed development outside the UDB, encouraging advancement of affordable and workforce housing within the UDB without expanding into environmentally sensitive lands.
Thank you very much. I obviously presented a bit on this topic. Last meeting, we were unable to make the vote work because the mayor had to recuse himself. I'm happy to go over it a little bit more for the benefit of Commissioner Bonich as well. Obviously, the goal here is to support the veto on expanding in past the urban development boundary. I think especially with our city and our focus on development, focus on workforce housing and affordable housing, we can make this request with a clear conscience. We do have support from a variety of other cities at this point, and there has been a lot of public support on holding the line with the urban development boundary. Clearly, nobody in South Florida or even the country wants to see damage come to the bay. In South Florida, we don't want salination of our aquifer, creating an existential crisis for the city of South Miami. And I know a lot of this could be said in hyperbole, and this is just a minor encroachment into the urban development boundary, but application will come after application, and the bay is not healthy now. So to add any other additional stress to it is could be pretty damaging for us. So I hope that the commission will join me in support of it, and happy to answer any questions. Okay, great.
I just want to say, I'm glad you brought this up. I agree with you. You know, moving the line, even if it's minor, then the next minor, then the next minor, and then the next minor, and to what end? So I agree with you, and thank you for bringing this up.
No problem. And the applications haven't stopped coming, and we are holding the line. So imagine if we weren't. So, oh, go ahead. Did you have a?
I just had a question. I saw and read that HB 399 had gone through and Senate approved it as well, is my understanding. So it's a bill now. Do you know if it's true?
Well, no, I believe the UDB provision was withdrawn.
It was withdrawn?
Or was voted down in an amendment. Yes, that happened last week.
At state legislature?
Yes, at the state.
It was voted down or voted up?
Voted down, the UDB provision.
Okay.
Everything else in 399 passed.
Okay.
And one procedural note, I just want to make sure that it's the swapped out version.
Yes.
Nikki, thank you. So there were some procedural, I guess, they invoked different procedures at the county commission. I'll say it like that. And so we just wanted to make sure the resolution spoke to that. So it does. That's the swapped out version that you have before you.
Yes, and thank you very much. Can I make the motion, or do I have to have someone else make the motion?
You could pass the gavel and make the motion.
No, it's okay. Would
I'll
anyone?
move the motion.
Okay, great.
I'll second it.
All right, thank you very much. And Madam City Clerk?
Yes, Commissioner Kaye,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Bonish,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Corey.
We might as well just be vice mayor, right?
Exactly. Co-vice mayors, yes, thank you.
Item
And-
passes 4-0.
And we'll have to go retrieve the mayor now. But what would be the next item in order?
that's
to-
it.
No, there's one more.
Discussion.
Discussion.
The
Oh,
discussion item?
yeah, that's right.
All right, perfect.
That's right.
All right.
Discussion item M1, RFP, affordable housing development on the city's inspection site property.
Wonderful, thank you very much. And I guess maybe the city attorney could update us on this item, or?
Sure. So the memo in your agendas kind of walks through where we are in the RFP. At the Sunshine meeting earlier this month, we were instructed to figure out the consensus. We had individual meetings with each of you, and to figure out what items were consensus items, and implement those, and then see if there was anything left open. So the consensus items were an emphasis on the 40 to 50% area median income. That was the most important thing that we heard, and most repeated thing that we heard. The priority for our city residents and former residents, however we can do that within the bounds of fair housing. But there on that one, and I'll get to that in a moment, there was some, we weren't sure whether that includes, that is specific to residents of the city, or whether it includes city employees and any other hometown heroes, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers. The fact that the project should feature some on-site parking, some level of on-site parking, although that exact level was left kind of open-ended, so we've written it that way. We've said that you should provide parking, but we've left it open as to what they would need to provide. Revenue sharing was de-emphasized in the RFP, especially where revenue sharing would conflict with maximizing the number of affordable housing units. And then encouraging the control and inclusion of adjacent parcels if that's possible. So that's what you have in front of you here as the backup to this memo. The open items, again, whether to expand the priority to non-city residents, including potentially city employees, hometown heroes, the openness, we have written it so that it would apply to, we've left it open to proposers to apply the best solution possible as opposed to directing a solution. So it includes the possibility of a JV, it includes the possibility of a straight lease or anything in between. So we've left that up to the proposers. I don't know if you want to guide that process more. If you want to direct it, we can certainly do that. We would have to modify the current.
Are we contemplating a sale at all? Or is it a JV with a land contribution for the city?
JV with a land contribution.
Okay, so do we want to,
Yeah, do you want to,
that's what I'm asking, do we want to contemplate a sale, subject to affordability restrictions and a time for commencement and completion? Yes, you recognize.
I guess it's, is that open to that suggestion, since we're basically not really directing how we want the deal, that we're gonna let the developers bring to us a deal and then pick from the most favorable one? I don't know how sale would make it, because they have, it's money out of pocket to make the project work, but someone may say a sale might be the best option for them
It may
and
be-
for the city.
I think it's written to be more restrictive than to authorize a sale. If you want to authorize a sale, we would tweak it.
So
I just need direction on that.
if the commission wants to do it, I have no issues with that. If you don't want to do it, I have no issues with that.
Look, I mean, again, I don't know that everyone wants to be our partner, right? And have us in a JV. It's a real concern for some people. I'm not sure that would be my preference, but I still would love to hear, maybe someone offers very deep affordability if we do a straight sale with, without us in the deal, right? Because it makes the mechanics and the headaches less nettlesome. But I'm not sure if anyone has an openness to that. Obviously, the lease option here is limited by the fact that we're subject to the charter's current limitation on the lease term, which is 50 years. So that disposition option is going to be somewhat challenged.
Correct.
So hence why I'm opening the door here for something a little bit more, less limited. Anyhow, just further thoughts on that.
I'm okay with that.
You're okay, Commissioner Kaye? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm troubled. I think that we have a lot of assets that we're currently in the process of negotiating. The affordable housing component for the city, if it was for our city folk that need it, would be ideal, but we can't guarantee that. In my opinion, I think it's a little bit premature to put this out there right now, especially since we haven't finalized anything with City Hall. So my inclination would be to hold off on this. That's my opinion.
Okay. Vice Mayor?
I'd prefer to see a joint venture option. I mean, I can imagine somebody having a preference for the purchase, but it certainly wouldn't make the project more affordable for them to build. And I think what I would love to see us do here is model the way that cities can support this type of endeavor.
Right.
And because of that, I actually had additional feedback on that. I don't know if I can share.
Sure,
it
please,
now.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the point.
So I also wanted to make sure, and it's a hard thing to even, necessarily bring up. I am sympathetic with our own residents, but I think we also have to be cognizant of the fact that the more restrictions that we put on this, the less viable it is to build. And if we're going to set an example, especially for South Dade cities doing something like this, I would hate to fail because we had such stringent restrictions, even if we can do it. Because if we're limiting the marketability of the product, it's going to affect the outcome. So I don't know if that's something that we should have as codified, if it is, or if it's something that we should just
What are you
like
talking
having,
about?
having residents having them required to have residents in the building.
residents from a particular area or
Yeah,
statewide?
from the city.
I don't know that we, I
The
don't,
fair-
so I just want to say, I don't know that, can we do that from a fair housing perspective?
I don't think that we can limit it to the city.
Yeah, I
My-
don't
my
think so
research
either. I think
suggests
what I was trying to get to was that, create product that's accessible to those folks.
Right.
And certainly we can focus the marketing initially on that area, but ultimately they've got to, people have to fill beds, right?
Yeah, I would love for us to create programs
Yeah.
to help them.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
that's
wouldn't,
the whole point of it.
I wouldn't want to do restrictions if we
Mr.
could.
City Attorney wants to add.
Well, I was just going to say, the way we've written the RFP, we're putting it on the proposer to propose what plan they would propose
Okay.
for
Which is very
for
unrestricted.
emphasizing
Yeah,
Like you said, I
residents
agree with
Yeah.
you.
to the maximum extent possible.
Mayor,
Yes, you may.
Um,
Wait, hold on a second, because we have a, okay, fair enough.
to city attorney, didn't, the hometown heroes, isn't that stipulated by the state? I guess you.
That's a program that is recognized by the Florida Housing.
It's recognized by the Florida, so we could technically first implement hometown heroes for South Miami residents that are firefighters, police, and veterans.
That would not, Hometown Heroes does not limit it to city residents. Hometown Heroes is specific.
Countywide or
Occupations, whether it's countywide, it doesn't really have a geographic
But
component.
that would be like let's say the first option for the units would go to hometown heroes?
They could, if you're targeting 40 to 50% AMI, they may be
probably earn-
salaried out.
Yeah, so-
Well, the problem is
Apartments.
also, we also have to be cognizant to the fact that 40-50% will be a good portion of the building, but I don't think it'll be the total building. So
That's fair.
There'll be a mix amount of AMIs in there. Hopefully 50 and 40 are the chunk to help our residents, but let's say at 141 units, portions, it's gonna be broken out. So I think we still can implement the hometown heroes.
You could certainly, if that's what you want to emphasize.
Yes, you're recognized.
I think it's important for us not to lose sight of where this conversation started, which is we wanted to be able to help the people who are from our city. We want to be able to help our employees and I count the fire as ours because they're here in our city. I have our police and our fire have a priority there. All of that being said, I think we need to find a way in that to say, hey, developer, and I'm sure they've done this in a million different ways, to say, hey, developer, we want an emphasis placed, on these 3 things. How can we do that? And instead of saying, we can't really prioritize our former residents that essentially got priced out, there has to be some wiggle room to at least say, hey, we're gonna, can we open it to them first? Can we, what can we do within the bounds of what fair housing allows to give our people, our employees, our, police and fire, and our residents and former residents at least a fair shot at this? Because if we look at what happened in Somi Park, I'd be hard-pressed to see how many of those people are actually from here. And I don't want that again. Why would I want to build something on my land for my people to have it go to everybody else? Let everybody else figure out their people. I know it sounds horrible, but we're 2 square miles. When you're in a plane and it's going down, or you need oxygen, the first thing they say is put the mask on yourself and then put it on somebody else. And if we can't figure out how to do that, then this is a waste of time for us, and I don't want to do it. I know it sounds horrible, but I'm not fixing somebody else's problem. We have our own problems. We have our own people, and they need to come first.
Sure, agreed. Further comments, yeah?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Obviously, when this was first brought upon, it was, there were tears. I think that, and again, to the city attorney, what he's saying is that this affects fair housing, so we can't really, I'm sure the developer or whoever comes forward with the best option for this, it's something that we can then, at that point, once we pick a developer, then start these conversations as far as how can we get our residents in and have them figure out what programs they can use to bring those in. I think if we do that from now on, it's probably a little too premature. We all know we want the same thing, but let's see what partner we're gonna go into this deal with first, and then at that point, figure out, okay, this is what we want. Kind of like what we're doing with City Hall, that we've met with the developer a ton of times, telling them, this is kind of what we want, how do you implement it? And let them go out and figure out how they're gonna implement that.
The one aspect I do want to point out is the way we've written it right now, we've expressed what we are trying to address, which
Okay.
is our city's residents.
Perfect.
This is why the AMI. Now, we've said, proposer, share with us how you're going to maximize that, so that you all, when you're making that decision, when you're evaluating these different firms, these different proposers, you can see, okay, what are the different plans to effectuate that? And if that's the most important thing, maybe we need to weight that aspect of it the highest, right? Because if that's the main objective, then that should be entitled to the strongest weight, I would think.
Can I ask you something? And I am of the thought that our former residents, our employees, and our police and fire, for me, they have the same weight. I believe they're ours. Our residents that we love, they are ours. And so I think that when we look at it, we need to look at it cohesive, and we need to remember that our residents start on Bird Road and come all the way over here, like it's the entire city. So I would feel more comfortable having it be due weight on all of these versus one section more than the other, because
I don't think it has to be a section. I'm not, again, because I think you're misinterpreting my prior comment, which is understandable. I will tell you, I don't weigh them equally because they all earn differently. And so, I would tell you that I would weigh our residents, our lower income residents and teachers equally, because a teacher's starting salary is probably in the $34,000 a year range, which is, looking up, is 40% of AMI, right? Whereas starting salaries for police and fire are a little bit higher. So,
But then do you think that when, and this I defer to developers, you guys, they would fall within different categories of what that
AMI.
person is even looking for? So
correct.
if
So
you're
I don't think they
this-
would. I don't think they would be excluded because we're prioritizing. I think we want to make sure that there's a minimum chunk of units. Maybe we say we should 20 to 25% of the units should serve that bottom tier, or to the maximum extent it's feasible. If not, explain why you can only get to 15%.
Yeah.
Right? And then the balance, as long as we are keeping the tiering, the average firefighter, I don't know, Mr. Manager, what's an average starting firefighter make these days? 52?
I think it'd be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything lately, just because we're kind of out of that business.
So let's say if they're at $60,000 or 70% of AMI.
So that's why I'm saying they're hitting different.
So they're, yeah,
areas.
so our historic residents, right, whether they're on Bird Road in some of the very modest apartments, or in the Marshall Williams neighborhood, which they probably have similar demographics, right?
Mhm.
Are probably in the $34,000 to $43,000 a year.
Yeah.
And an individual, right? Maybe the household's not much more than that. But a teacher, single teacher is making, beginning of her making is $35,000, right? I'm not sure what the pay supplements are in Dade County. They may get them a little bit higher than that. I'm not up to speed on that. But I would say police, we've raised starting salaries here, so they're probably further up the tier, probably in the 60, 70 plus AMI range. I think firefighters certainly are better compensated than teachers by a dramatic margin. So I would tell you they're going to get captured in the workforce tier.
So I think we're all saying maybe the same thing in different ways, because we want prioritization within the tiers for the things that we feel are important.
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
and, Mayor?
You may.
No, Mayor? And like the city attorney just said, so when the proposals come, they're gonna tell us,
Mhm.
this is what we're proposing, whatever it may be, 25%, 15% for this AMI, 20% for this AMI, 10% for this, it'll be described there, so we'll know. And then we can ask the question at that point, how do you only get to this, or how do you get to that?
Yeah, I would rather say we want X percentage of units at or below that tier.
Okay.
To push the conversation, because the standard election is, 20% at 50% or below AMI. So, or 40% at 60% or below AMI. Those are the two standard elections for light tech deals.
My only concern of
Yeah.
that, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
is
go ahead.
if we give them too high of a percentage and it doesn't make the project work, that's why I kind of felt.
They
like-
can tell us why not. I'm happy. I just want
Okay.
to say, this is our goal.
Okay, our goal.
This is our minimum aspiration.
Okay.
Right? Because it speaks to either helping teachers find a place in our city or service workers, right? I don't, no disrespect to fire and police, and teachers, they all do, very important work, but we also have a bunch of service workers that can't find, that support our town center, that can't find housing that's affordable nearby. So, I mean, I'd rather just push the lower tier as much as possible and leave it open, say, look, if you want to brand a portion of the units Hometown Heroes, but, or focus on working with a service employees union or, SEIU or, because they represent people in those tiers. Certainly, I'd love to see how we can draw those connections in, because I just think there's a broader cross-section of folks that need housing beyond, the people think of first. Right?
And I would love to see that pull towards what we need.
Mhm.
We have
Right.
Fresh Market, we have a bunch of shops, so is there a way to, bring those groups in early, inform them, something? I just keep pushing this because I want
I think
our
it'd be
people.
interesting for the developer to propose how they're going to market the availability of units and how they would propose an FHA compliant marketing strategy that focuses on residents of South Miami and or employees working in the town center.
Okay.
I don't know if that meets your goals as well, Madam Commissioner? Yes, Mr. Vice Mayor.
I think, one, I just wanted to reiterate some of the additional benefits. Obviously, if we can make preference for our residents and employees, it's great. Like the mayor said, we have a lot of commercial property coming online that needs workers. I think the market will take care of a little bit of that as well. People at these income levels are going to be looking for a place where they can live close to where they're going to work. They might even switch jobs for that reason, because it'll create affordability in transportation. Another benefit of this, obviously, this is a drop in the bucket for the housing crisis, but if we have a successful JV here, other cities may join in, where we can actually create capacity that could sustain. We won't get everybody in this area. We won't get everybody who has left the Marshall Williamson community or still there, or people who live at that level anywhere in our city. But if that does happen in other cities, in other areas, it could potentially as well. So there's additional benefits to it outside of even that.
Yep, agreed.
Okay. Mr. Kaya, did you want to add something before we try to wrap up the conversation? I'm curious as to why you're concerned about the timing.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily about the timing, Mayor. I think that that's just another aspect of everything that's going on. I mean, look, the AMIs are great, but we can't guarantee it for people in our residence right now. The project, I mean, I've done a lot of research on it with different developers and asking about the lower AMIs and how that would reflect the cost structure on a building like this. Projects like this would probably need to be 100% subsidized. The lot area location is just very difficult to build on. Since we can't say that this land would be completely for its residents, and this is resident land, do our residents want this? Another thing is that right now it's currently at 50 years, right, as a franchise land fee, right? So do developers, they're going to want the option to have 100 years. That needs to go to the voters. It's just, there's a lot of things that make this extremely difficult, that we've been saying this for a long time. There's a lot of wants and hopes. There's a lot of things here legally that we can't do, right? So it just makes it very difficult to go ahead and get this out there, have this whole program set up by our attorneys, and for what? Not have land that we can actually build for our residents. That's the intended purpose of this. For our city employees, for our service workers, for our teachers. It's not our teachers, it's the teachers anywhere, right? It's the teachers, the firefighters anywhere. It's not our cops. It's not like that. I mean, so that's the problem that I have, is that we want to do this for our residents, but doesn't look like it's feasible. So those are all the different things that I'm looking at on why this particular property doesn't work like that and what its intentions are for.
Okay. Yes, you're recognized.
I I disagree. I've spoken to residents. There is a want for this.
I don't think he's arguing, I don't think he's arguing,
but
no,
let
I
me
really,
finish
no, I don't think he wants to argue that. I just want to be mindful of the time. I don't think he's arguing that there's not a want among the populace. I think he's wondering whether we can actually
Well, he said,
meet
do
the
the
goal.
residents actually want this? That's what the commission.
All South Miami residents.
Correct. So there's a need for it countywide for affordable housing. I've had developers already, which we know, who are already excited to start with the process. There's 3 already, and you know others. So I think it's just, why would we kill something that people are already willing to provide proposals for and start working on? Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. What do we have to lose? Nothing in life, especially something like this, never comes easy. It's gonna be hard, it may be difficult, but this is something that I think would be good for our community when it shows that South Miami is trying to do affordable housing for residents and for people that live and work in South Miami. I don't think we have anything at all to lose by putting this out and seeing what we get back, personally.
Mr. City Attorney, in the solicitation, can we draft the lease option? Because I think one point that Commissioner Kaya raises that might dampen enthusiasm is certainly the fact that we can't do
Beyond 50 years.
correct, and that they've got on a purchase option that property, that owner has to capitalize the cost up front, right, in order to divest us of the control of the asset. So yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying, assuming they don't want to do a joint venture, again, buying the land requires them to kind of find more subsidy immediately as opposed to paying us the leasehold payment in perpetuity. So there's more cash out the door day one. So I guess the question is, can we nonetheless, even if it's, notwithstanding we know we have this legal limitation, can we ask the respondent to provide options with respect to a 50-year lease or a 99-year lease? Because something would preclude us from awarding the contract contingent on us putting an item to the voters, either as part of our, package of charter reforms or specifically to approve this potential project, right?
Yeah, I think we could certainly say, yeah.
I think we should disclose that we have a limitation.
We disclose it, exactly.
Right, and that we're receiving proposals that we could proceed with under current authority today on a 50-year term, but that the city is interested potentially in doing a term of longer than 50 years, which would require either authorization of the project specifically by the voters or a change in the limitations of the charter, both of which the city is open to presenting to the voters in the fall 2026 election. Now, the question I have is, what is the timing on this? Because if we're going to put a question on the ballot that would give us that flexibility, we need to decide that by July of this year.
Correct, July.
Correct.
That's right.
So would we have, you guys don't have a schedule specified in this draft. And so what would the procurement schedule look like, and could we make that date?
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Mayor.
I recognize you, yeah.
So
Have you all had a conversation about schedule?
we have not.
Okay, fair enough. Commissioner Kaya, you're recognized.
So on the contrary, so last time we went to the voters and asked them for the 100 years so we can do City Hall.
Yeah.
If we're so confident that the residents of South Miami want to do that, let's just put it on the ballot. Let's change that franchise fee to 100 years and explain what it's for.
We can. I'm not saying, I'm not
And
saying.
that's why it's another reason it's a little bit premature. That's my point. I mean, that's the way we did it before, and that's maybe what we should do now. If that's what the will is of the commission and the people, let's just ask them.
Can I just,
Yeah, you're recognized.
right now, the 50 years is in the charter, correct?
Correct.
Why wouldn't we just change the charter to
Correct.
99 years? So we don't have to keep going back.
We can. Again,
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying if we.
That's why I'm saying, instead of asking for this property.
I'm not saying we're asking for this property. I'm just saying to allow, what I'm suggesting is that when we draft the RFP,
With all those options.
with that additional option, because we may choose, with or without the project, to ask for an extension to the term on leasehold agreements, right? That's all I'm suggesting. Whether we do it with the project specifically in mind or without one, I certainly have no objection to putting things out ahead of a particular plan. Sometimes it's better to actually take a concrete proposal to voters and say, this is what we want to do it for, right? It's not just fly-by-night lease, here are the terms, you can approve it with a specific project, here's the benefit, and you sell the project, as opposed to the general change. I'm open to either approach. I just want to make sure that we can figure out if the market is receptive to a longer-term lease and what the terms then look like and whether that helps us buy more affordability or provides us greater revenue.
We can certainly provide for proposers to provide that information. The timing is really the only thing, whether you'll have the benefit of those responses prior to where you have to make a call.
Correct.
On what to put on the.
That's why I'd asked if you guys had talked about schedule or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to get tricky. I'd have to sit down with Steve and Alfredo.
Okay.
Go through that.
So again, colleagues, if we want to provide that optionality, I'm not sure where is our charter review committee in its process?
They're meeting tomorrow, and I believe they're on Article
5 and 6.
5 and 6. Thank you.
When are we expecting back a slate of recommendations? Is that in May from them?
May, yes.
Okay,
Late May.
okay. Article 6 has the disposition standards?
I believe 6 is the franchise standards.
Okay. The reason I ask if it's something that they're recommending already, maybe something that we want to just have the city attorney prepare about language for, in anticipation for a meeting in July. Okay, so
Whatever.
is six
6
has?
is on tomorrow. They're going to be discussing
Okay,
it tomorrow.
perfect.
Yeah.
So if you can, whoever's on your team is meeting with them, if they can express
Yep.
that we do have an interest in doing an affordable housing project potentially, that could benefit from a longer leasehold term potentially as a disposition option. We'd just love to get their recommendations on whether that's a change they would be advancing.
I believe she's listening now, so.
Okay, great. Who's she?
Danny, I hope you heard that direction.
Thank you, Danny. Okay,
So,
yes, sir, you're recognized.
so is this from, I guess, this point on, do we instruct the city attorney to implement everything that we've all said and prepare the RFP and send it out? Or do we need to vote on it? What's the next step? He already knows all our comments, so.
Is it the pleasure, do you want, you had previously mentioned talking to experts in the field, specifically, you had identified 2 experts. Is it mature enough at this point to put that in front of them, to retain them, and have them review it? Or do you want to go to market with it and have them, retain them to evaluate the responses?
That might be I think reviewing the responses, because they'll.
Definitely reviewing the responses. I think the structuring issue might be valuable on the legal side if we're actually interested in doing a JV.
Mhm.
Maybe they can give us some guidance on maybe some more specific, what should be a legally acceptable framework, advantageous framework for respondents to consider. That's just my one thought on that one issue. On the subsidy option, I think that's more of someone we would use in the evaluation phase. Yes, Mr. Manager.
I think there could be some value on the non-attorney side to take a look at how it's crafted, because, that person would be in the market from the standpoint of what's going on, and they may be able to tell us, listen, this is well-intended, but, it's not gonna math, or you may wanna do this instead. So, I mean, there's some value to that. We had held up, and I'm glad the attorney brought it, we held up because we weren't sure where this was headed, so we wouldn't be spending money on it. But happy to do one or both at this point, depending on your direction.
Both are assets, I mean.
Again, just to be clear, the direction that I suggested 2 names, but they're not the only names I want considered. So, I mean, again, I think they're both very knowledgeable people, but I would ask both you and the manager to kind of look at the market and see if there's somebody else who's just as qualified to help us. I just, Commissioner Winch, you've been mindful of the fact that when we make decisions, often we spend money, we don't know what we're spending. Do we want to understand what an engagement from either of those 2 parties would look like before we proceed with actually issuing the RFP?
Yeah,
So we know eyes
even
wide
an
open?
idea.
Have an idea? Okay.
Even have an idea.
Do we want that,
of what we're
do you want to give informal feedback to the manager? Do we want to actually have it discussed at an upcoming meeting? How do we want to deal with that issue? Because
I
there
mean,
is a possible cost here that we're not aware of.
I have enough faith in our manager.
Okay.
For him to get an idea of that cost and to be able to make the decision, is it something that's worth it?
Anything below his threshold, you're fine with?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll
Just wanna-
report back regardless.
I know you will, but I just, like, if we move forward with the engagement, I just want to make sure we all understand.
Yeah.
If we end up spending $20,000 and this goes nowhere, we're fine with that as an outcome, right?
Yeah, because if we move forward with this, time is of the essence, so you need to go with it.
Yeah. I just, again, I just want to, again, I want to make sure we're all comfortable with the fact that we're delegating that, and we understand that there may be costs incurred. I know the manager will be very judicious about how those dollars get spent, if they get spent at all, but yes. Yes, sir.
We could, certainly separate it if we want a very specific engagement to give us, feedback on this document and approach it that way, and certainly separate the engagement from the standpoint of, what happens with the RFP.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I think just a review of the, but lawyers nowadays, being one, their hourly rate's easily $1,000 an hour, right? Depending on what firm you're talking to. So,
It's outrageous.
It's outrageous, I know. So I'm just saying, quickly, 5 or 6 hours on one side and another consultant charges you a flat fee even, it's,
How much do we owe you, Javi?
no, I know. My
I'm going
family's the
home.
question.
That's it, I give up.
Okay, so Mr. City Attorney, why don't you summarize for us the feedback that you're going to internalize in the final product so that we know if there's any other feedback you may need?
Okay, so we are going to open up the RFP to two additional, to a broader range of possible relationships with the city. One could be ranging from the potential purchase of the property outright to a lease term of 50 or potentially more years, subject to a charter change, and then including any kind of JV relationship or any kind of other relationship that they can propose. The commission emphasized the importance of the marketing strategy and the procedural strategy of how to ensure to the best of their ability and subject to fair housing, how to get residents of the city to be the first tier, and potentially with other workers that can meet the 40 to 50% AMI strata.
I think there's two concepts there
Yep.
that are not necessarily the same. One is a percentage of units. I would say this is shoot for 25%, targeted to households earning between 40 and 50% of AMI. If that's not feasible, right, the developer and the respondent should provide an explanation as to why that's not financially feasible and what their best proposed alternative would be to maximize units available to that cohort. Right? As a second priority, again, equal weight, right, is understanding their marketing plan so that's FHA compliant with a focus on serving existing South Miami residents, right, including service workers that support businesses in our SOMI district, right? Is that clear? Okay.
And then, remember, we talked about the scaled effect. You covered the residents there, and then we said, teachers, firefighters, policemen and stuff, they fall under a higher AMI, so we need to give that a similar treatment to what we're doing for our employees.
And so all of the other, I'd say, workforce housing units or affordable units up to 120% of AMI, whatever they're offering, should have a focus on hometown heroes, teachers, firefighters, police, city employees.
Starting with us.
Yeah.
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
So are we ranking priorities here? Is that what we're doing?
I think we are in part, yes, sir.
So where do we put in sale versus lease, revenue generating versus not? Is that super important for the colleagues or not? Because I don't really care if if we use the land as subsidy, if it's something that's going to be benefit to our direct
personal
population.
Yeah.
I don't think it's feasible, but I don't think it's going to happen. But if we can do it, that'd be great. Secondly, you guys know I'm not a big fan of selling property, so that would be something that I want to understand. If that's the only way they can get it done, then I would understand what that is. But that's just mine. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think if I had to rank my preferences in terms of a disposition option, it would be a JV land contribution, because we're staying the deal, we, have some oversight over the partner. A long-term lease with restrictions, because I think it's gonna get us the most subsidy, and then lastly, a sale with, a declaration that requires, affordability and allows us continuing oversight. But that would be my preference in terms of how we would.
I agree with those.
Yeah.
I'm same. Joint venture first.
Do we have to include the idea of a sale if it's not popular?
Well, just to see if it works.
I think it's just see what I would only be interested depending on how much affordability it buys us. I'm not sure it buys us that much
Yeah.
more, but I'd love to know
Yeah.
what the options are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're all aligned in that point, as Commissioner Calle stated. We don't want to get rid of,
No, I know. I just
So it's
also understand
bring
that,
it down
we may be a really
smaller.
reasonable group today, but, having a long-term partner in the community without knowing who your partners are gonna be over the long term is a daunting prospect for many people. So
difficult.
they may not want to explore a JV option for that reason. So hence why I would consider a sale with restrictions. If it buys us a lot of affordability. Yep. Okay, any further feedback? None? You're clear? So the goal would be to authorize the issuance of the RFP, the retention of these professionals subject to, obviously, the manager's discretion. And do we need to take any formal action in this regard, Mr. City Attorney?
You do
No?
not. We've
Okay,
received your input. Thank you.
great. Colleagues, before we close, any reports for the good of the order?
I won the lotto. No, mentira.
You won the lotto.
I wouldn't be here. I'd be on an island somewhere.
Great, okay, well, then we stand.